Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach. Left the last episode doing this one with the nullable type default constraint, and we landed on the fact that this needs to be updated, and it needs to be updated in a recursive fashion. So I think what we want to do is say if the type itself that we're looking for, because I don't think we care about the return type, although we may want to do the same thing and say if it's recursive as well, because it's probably the same part. So we probably want to say something like static bool is annotated, because this is a private one. So we can say I method. I don't think you can make extension methods as a local function. It was trying to do it with the help there, but I don't think that's what we want. So we want to say here, if we want to say I parameter symbol, parameter. Okay. And so what we want to say is return if parameter.type is equal to, let's say, where's type parameter? Type parameter is a type parameter symbol. I type parameter symbol. Type parameter. Okay. And parameter nullable annotation is that. So that's the thing itself. So we want to say if that's the case, then yes, you're annotated. Or parameter type is, do we care if it's an open generic or not? I believe self here is method. So we're looking at the parameters of the method. But now we're looking at the, one moment. I think we want to look at the type. Is it the type or the parameter? Does it matter? Did I just not really, if I say dot type dot nullable, null annotation of the type of nullable annotation, now there are none. I think in both cases, they would give you the same thing. In fact, before we make this change, let's actually change this to being .type. Because we're doing that down here. If we look to the constraint generator tests with the get constraints, what happens when we run this test? They all pass. And this is calling, well, it's calling this. It's not really calling the right thing that we thought. Method symbol extensions. Do we have a test around that? We do. Yes. So we have default constraints. What happens here? Those pass. So it's still doing the right thing in terms of if it hits this. Yeah, because those two tests, one is that, one's the other. So return type is void, but in this case, yeah, okay, good. Good. So let's go back to doing this. We don't need the parameter. What we need it to be is the I type symbol, type. And so that reduces some stuff here. Type equals that, and type is that, or type is open generic, and type, these are all going to come back as a type symbol, right? Yeah, type symbol. And type as I named, type symbol named type. Shoot. How do you, God, my computer's making this like grinding noise occasionally, and it's like, I need to find a time to bring it in to have it taken a look at. Parameters, type parameters, any. So we say here that is annotated, where it's that and type parameter. Okay, it didn't like this. Oh. Well, we can be safe and then say here false. Or type and then we do that. Okay. So now what we want to do is here is say is annotated with type and type parameter, or it doesn't return void and self.return type is annotated, because those should be the same things, right? There we go. So let's run all the tests on this just because. One failed. Which one? Yeah, I wish you would tell me which one failed. Well, I believe, okay, that one passes, which is fine. And actually, let's make sure we've got a case in here for public interface I generic of T. We don't care what that is, but then we say public class target void of T, or we say I generic T, like that. And then let's, because that now should fix the issue, and that failed though. And that should be good if I'm looking at that correctly. It does do it here, but it's not doing it up here. So let's run that under the debugger, and is type is open generic. It is an open generic. Okay. Why did you... What are you doing? What are you... Just... No. Just my... There's times where... Enable just my code. It's times where being able to step in is absolutely wonderful. This is not one of them. Has open generic. Okay. So we should... And now we step back in. Is annotated. It's a T. It's not what I expected. So it's not going to have any nullable annotation to it. Those are the type parameters. We want the type arguments, not the type parameters. I always make that mistake. I think, well, we'll see. There we go. Okay. Now do we get... We still get one failing, and it's this one. Why is that one failing? So does it return void? It's false. Is it annotated? Return type is that. So it's F11. Whoa. That is not what I meant to do. Wait. There's no... If self parameters any, there's no parameters, or... Wait, I'm a little confused here. If... Oh, I've got the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Okay. There we go. Doesn't mean it's correct. It just... There we go. Okay. And so now if we do this, where we say, let's put a interface in it, and now we say public void I generic of that, that should also be a T default. Okay, good. So we got that working. If we come to our constraints test here, this was failing, but I bet now if we find the right one, if we say where T member is default, does that fix the test? And I may have the mapping. Ah, it does. Good, good, good. Okay. Kind of on a roll here. Let's say run tests. When they all pass, okay, git commit updated default constraint check to recursively look at type arguments. Oh, I didn't put the number in front of it. That's okay. That's all right. Okay, so what we want to do now is before I shut down and start up again, I want to come back in here because The whole reason I did this is because of this. We're on 320, so let's do that. Okay. That should now work. So let's shut down and start up again. I'm going to run all the tests. I'm going to see if everything works. I always get a little bit leery when I run this one just because you make a change and it's happened so many times where this will suddenly break for a totally unknown reason. But they all pass, which is good. So the last thing I need to do here now is put in the changelog that fixed. How do I want to say this? Nullable types within type definitions are now constrained correctly. I just want a very small, succinct definition, and then you can always go look at the, where is this, 320? You can always go look at the issue itself to see if you can, to get more information. So I think that's it. I will commit this and merge it in, but I think that's all that's there. So the only thing remaining now, if I look at 320, if I look at the milestones, there's two more. So this one's going to be fixed. This one will be interesting. I think I'm going to do this starting another episode. I'm going to look at this one because I need to look at that a little bit more in detail and add this in, because again, I think it will, if I can do it, it will be really nice just to get some succinctness there, and to also see just how the code fix or the refactoring suggestion Visual Studio works with that. That should be interesting. And then the last one I'll do for this 8.3.0 release is this one, and that'll be a little bit more work, but we're on a roll. I think we're in a good spot. And so I'm going to end this episode with that. In the next episode, we're going to start working on collection expressions. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.